Mallya with us to address us on this subject. I request her to come over. So I'll hand over the desk to you.
Starting 5 minutes early, so I think it gives us the privilege of closing 5 minutes early. A lot of views on cricket and politics as we go by. So, through the session, through the day, I wanted on a few points also on what impacts overseas investments and one or two interesting comments made by various speakers and all the questions which were raised in various sessions. Very of interest, I was trying to see if I can cover most of them. So, Ajay is going to be about Suchit is going to be about also. So I try to cover this as we go. So our main topic is overseas investment from Indian individuals, corporates, LLPs, Indian entities investing outside India. There is no Indian party anymore. Earlier it used to be an aggregate common term called Indian party. Now there is no such thing as Indian party. It's an Indian entity. And sometimes what we will cover today is the new overseas investment rules issued by central government. Where the central government gets power to issue rules, we will discuss. Overseas investment regulations issued by RBI. Why does the RBI need to issue regulations? We will discuss. Master directions issued by the RBI, again the need for that, and operating instructions given to authorized dealers. Vital because most of the compliances are there, almost all compliances are dealt with by the authorized dealers, so we will know what they are reading as well. And I have tried and put together all the questions which have come to over the years to my clients on overseas investments in the last few slides, which may help you in determining or helping you comply with the transactions. Apart from that, liberalized remittance scheme available to individuals resident in India. Yeah, so we'll cover our LRS and its impact on ODI, its impact on other remittances from India. So we'll cover all that, and there are a few questions which came up during the session. One was, I heard the word safe. So safe, simple agreement for future equity US. What does it mean and how does it impact? Yes, we will discuss that. Then during the lunch break, I heard another interesting US concept called SPAC, specific purpose acquisition vehicle or special purpose acquisition vehicle, something in US, which turns up into a listed entity. Very interesting. Some Indians also ventured into it and got into problem, and we are trying to fix it for the last 10 years. So we will discuss that also. Then we saw ESOP. ESOP is a very tricky one. ESOP, sweat equity, modification shares. And what happens under these circumstances, which gives you almost a lot of exemption from OI compliance, overseas compliance. So we see that. And GIFT, which are international and financial something, which are in Karnataka. These are the first applicants. I went to Gujarat. Why they are hosting it and why we are not hosting it is our incompetence. So we will discuss that also, about our incompetence as the state to get something which is deserving, and our incompetence as a nation to hold up the ICI as a regulator, and ICI will become an examination body. So we will discuss that also. Anyway, so OI rules. Let me go on. So I just was jotting down these points during the lunch break, so we'll come back to that. Capital account transactions. 2A says central government may prescribe capital account transactions, and that is the power at which they prescribe capital account transactions, not involving debt instrument any other conditions have been in place for such transactions, and the limit of foreign exchange have been admissible for such transactions. If you wonder why there that 400% limit comes from, if you wonder where that 400% limit comes from, RBI is authorized by the central government to manage this. But the rules do specify that RBI is empowered to regulate and manage limits. Yeah. So that is the thing. One question which keeps coming up: a person who was a non-resident comes back to India, becomes a resident in India. What happens to this earlier investment which he had held? For example, some people have something called 401k. I have investment security outside India. I have deposits outside India. I have removal property outside India. What happens when I and change my residence from non-resident status to resident status as far as FEMA is concerned in India. Taxation, completely different aspect related to the science. So, section 6.4 says a person resident in India may hold, own, transfer or invest in foreign currency, foreign security or immovable property situated outside India if such currency, security or property was acquired at or owned when you were a resident outside India or inherited from a person resident outside India. Again, two things. If I was a non-resident, by virtue of my employment, business, location, I acquired certain assets outside India and I came back to India, I can still continue to hold it and continue. For example, life insurance policy. Can I pay a premium? Of course, I can pay a premium under current transaction. Can I pay a premium for my foreign bank? Yes, I can pay a premium for my foreign bank. Can I pay a premium for my domestic bank? Yes, you can pay a premium for domestic bank, but under current transaction. Yeah, insurance is a common question which comes. Immovable property. Can I receive rent outside India? Yes, you can receive rent for immovable property held outside India. Can I get dividend, bonus, rights for securities held outside India? Yes, you can do that. Keep it there. Yeah, can I hold demand account outside India? Yes, you can do that. Another interesting thing is the only way under Act in which a resident in India can acquire all these assets without falling foul of FEMA regulations is inheritance. By virtue of bill executed, and okay, inheritance is not by word of mouth generally. Inheritance has to be a document. The problem is when you want to dispose, the document will become better. So inheritance by operation of law very difficult to enforce or convince as far as Indian regulation is concerned. So if there is an inheritance, make sure that there is documentation for inheritance. There are people who inherit without documentation. I think it's called by transmission rather than transfer. Those things are very difficult to convince as far as Indian regulation is concerned, especially if you dispose of assets outside India. Yeah. So earlier all these powers were with the RBI. Now all these powers are with the central government from 2019. What happened in 2018 is another story. Yeah. So it's interesting. Google who was the RBI government in 2018 and what happened in 2018. Sometimes all these regulations are all more political. I have freedom to say it, but another freedom to think about this. I have freedom to say it. It's interesting to see why regulations are subject to whims and fancies of some people or distrust and against some. Yeah. Central government can make notes. Central government may by notification make rules, which we discussed, and limits also we discussed. Reserve Bank may by notification make regulations. Reserve Bank makes regulations, central government makes rules. Rules are placed before Parliament, regulations are not placed before Parliament. And there's a grandfather accordingly. There's some regulations which apply prior to 2019, those continue to apply, and those transactions which may be in conflict with current regulation, that will not be conflicted because of it has been transacted or done prior to 2019. Important thing, capital account transactions specified by Government of India, foreign security and immovable property is also a capital account transaction. Foreign security or immovable property is also a capital account transaction. Now, immovable property is also covered under OI rules. Earlier, there is FEM, bracket open, transfer ratio of foreign, rather immovable property outside India, bracket close regulation. No, it's no longer there. It's covered under FEM, OI regulation. There's a specific rule for immovable property, we will cover that. Now, rules versus regulations we saw. The way government writes it, prohibit, restrict, regulate. The words government, wherever the government comes, prohibit, restrict, regulate. Wherever RBI comes, permissible, admissible actions. So, there is a difference between a legislator and a regulator. Legislature and regulator. I thought it was interesting, so I put it down. So, today's session we will cover these three aspects: OI rules, OI regulations, RBI issue, OI directions. Now, why do we need all these three also we will discuss. And is there any conflict in all these three? No, there is no conflict in these three, and all of them came out on the same date, August 2022, same date. Okay. So, master direction on overseas investment. Why master direction? Usually, all these APDI circulars used to be consolidated into something called master circular, and it used to come out on July of every year. Thereafter, the procedure was master directions came after 2019. Master directions came, and these consolidate all notifications issued by the RBI on a prior date. So, it is the same master direction for OI, overseas investment, but every time there is an amendment made, they will write saying that amended as on that date. So, when you're reading something, your book may not be relevant. For example, latest amendment was September 26th. So you should always see what's the latest. Go to the RBI website. There's a notification column. In the notification, click on FEMA. And you push out all the master directions under FEMA. Look at whatever regulations you want. Always keep referring to RBI website for correct and accurate master directions. Yeah. So if there's a master direction in Igor 22, there's a master direction on liberalization scheme reporting. Overseas investments has three aspects. One is reporting as far as investment is concerned, reporting as far as maintenance of that investment is concerned, reporting as far as diminution in value of the investment is concerned. We miss out on third aspect generally. If there is a diminution in value apparent from the balance sheet, then certain actions you should take proactively to prevent any distress with the RBI if you are eventually lead to a situation where there is a write-off or a reduction in value. So, at the time of investment, ongoing compliance, diminution in value, and of course, divestment. All of these together can inform any of four activities which are happening for your client or in your company or for you personally when you made overseas investment. Be careful of these three aspects. At the time of investment is reporting, maintenance such as reporting as obligation, diminution in value, reporting obligation, divestment is reporting obligation. We deal with all of them. And there are FAQs. Why FAQs are important is bank serials. There are two things with bankers. Whenever you meet bankers on OI, and fortunately or unfortunately, I end up meeting them for OI most of the time, overseas investment most of the time. FDI, more or less, there is clarity. Some things like how do you report control? Somebody asks how do you report control against GPL. That becomes a problem. There is a column, company secretary certificate is stated, and there is a column in the firm's database where there is the transactional details. You can upload a company secretary certificate and write down the control aspects in CS. CS is required under the secretary standard to write control, change in control. Or what is control as far as FDA is concerned? We told you. And these FAQs are relied upon by the banker. They usually, when you talk to them, they do FAQ number 62 after starting up under this FAQ number. So before going to a banker on any discussion of compliance, look at the FAQ. See the specific situation in covered under FAQ. It's easiest to convince the bank using the FAQs. You'll be surprised. There will be overseas investments made. APRs not. Okay, we'll come to that. FEMA, Foreign Exchange Management, OI, rules. Yeah. Everything which is prior, which is FEM, Transfer of Foreign Security Regulations, is no longer superseded by OI rules issued by central government. There are 5 schedules. There are about 21 rules and 5 schedules. Schedules which are interesting to us is Schedule 1, 3, and to a large extent, newly 5. One is overall overseas investment. 3 is individuals, vested individuals. Many vested individuals who make overseas investments who deal with our compliance obligations are there on them. This includes ESOP certification. Yeah. I don't know whether you can read it, but I thought it's important to write this down. The one thing which I would say is what is an Indian entity? The Indian entity definition includes a partnership firm. It obviously includes LLP, obviously includes company, includes company and LLP, but partnership firm, registered only. Unregistered partnership firms is not an entity, and it therefore cannot do OI, overseas business. Be very careful on that. Trusts, societies, or any other vehicles require RBI permission for investment. Yeah. So that there's a separate provision for that. That is one important thing. The other thing is financial commitment. Why financial commitment? If I'm RBI and I have Indian entities investing in overseas jurisdiction, I need to know what is their financial commitment towards that investment, towards the UI, towards the unique identification number allotted to the foreign entity into which I'm making investment. For example, I make an investment into a foreign company as an initiator or first investor from India. I get a unique identification number. Tomorrow, another Indian entity invests there. The unique identification number will follow for him also. So the foreign entity is given a legal entity identifier, not the ABI in the legal database, but as far as RBI is concerned, UI. So legal entity identifier for RBI purposes is the unique identification. But everybody in India who invests into that company invests under the guise of that UIN. So RBI needs to know what is the equity commitment as far as India is concerned into that company UIN wise. RBI needs to know what is the debt obligation vis-a-vis India from that company. RBI needs to know what are the guarantees extended by Indian entities for that for and on behalf of the company. There will be bank guarantees, there will be personal guarantees by promoters in India, to banks outside India. All of these are covered under the overarching umbrella of financial commitment. And this overarching financial commitment is restricted to 400% of net worth of the Indian balance sheet audited. Last audited balance sheet. They even specify what is last audited balance sheet in that definition. Why the need is there? Anyway. But as per last audited balance sheet, 400% of net worth is a financial commitment encompassing all of this. Some exemptions are there for performance guarantees. Some exemptions are there for personal guarantees. It may not be 100% of the total guarantee limit. It may be 50% of the guarantee limit. But nonetheless, this total financial commitment into the overseas entity is something we need to monitor and track. Who tracks, who monitors, and where does all this come from? Just to skip ahead, and it's easier for me to explain it now. There is something called as detailed project profile allocated or tagged to unique identification account. Have you heard of a detailed project profile? No. Okay. That is where all the problems come. Whatever our balance sheet reflects, we reflect the investment in investment column in overseas investment. For example, I invested in, for lack of another name, IBM USA. I put in investment column, I put IBM investment in IBM USA X sum. I may give guarantee. In my contingent liability notes, I say corporate guarantee X. I may say performance guarantee. For IBM's contract executed by outside India, we as a promoter may be required to give performance guarantee. That also is there. All of these are visible to me in the balance sheet, but it's not visible to the RBI. How does visibility come to the RBI? Is only if you report it to the RBI and the RBI sees something called as detailed project report for every UIN. If you are auditor of any company which has overseas investment, you must ask them to provide a detailed project report for the UIN, which will contain first is Indian equity stake, foreign equity stake, Indian entities percentage interest to foreign company, foreign entity percentage interest to them. You'll be surprised that it is not updated. For example, fresh issue happens outside India. We may not participate. Somebody else has participated on rights basis or whatever it is, the French government is. Our percentage may have diminished from what we have reported in when we originally made the investment. When we originally made the investment, we write earlier it used to be Form ODI, now it's Form FC, Schedule 1, Section 1. So if we say Section 8, so we say Indian investment 10%, foreign investment 90%, CA certificate, valuation report, compliance done, revenue. Tomorrow that 90% we invested another 2%. We may end up taking 8%. If we don't report to the RBI, the detailed project report is not updated. How do we report to RBI? Through an APR, foreign APR, which is required to be filed on annual basis. Anything which is mentioned in APR should find a place in detailed project profile. If not, there's a mismatch. If there's a mismatch, APR will not be accepted. If the API is not accepted, no further remittances can be made towards the UIN. So it will start. So make sure you get a detailed project profile, and the detailed project profile contains year-wise APR for 2021, APR for 2022, APR for 2023. Whether it's filed, you can check. Whether it's accepted, also you can check. Whether it's cancelled, also you can check. If it is not accepted, if it's cancelled, then you have to follow up with the bank to make sure that its APR is accepted. APR need not be accepted for reasons such as there is a requirement. You don't provide audit accounts. You provide intelligent people provide compilation. There is SRS 4417 in India. Similarly, there is compilation exercise. It's an attached function, not an audit function. It's easier, faster, cheaper. But there is a certificate of signature from a CPA from outside India. Many people have passed it off as audited financial statements as far as banks are. Banks have open up to it, and all APIs containing compilations are being detected. So you need to have audited financial statements go outside India and file along with your API for the API to be accepted. There will be guarantees. Generally, 99% of the time, banks will ask for Form FC along with corporate they will ask if you are an Indian entity and a downstream subsidiary, let's say in the US, and you want to give corporate guarantee on that for their funding limits, they will ask you for forex and they update the detailed project profile. If any mismatch happens between the detailed project profile and your financial statements, or detailed project profile and your intention as far as the investor is concerned, then subsequent reconciliation will be hampered. Yeah. And worse is when divestment happens, money is not credited. I've had situations where there have been buybacks, there have been capital reduction, money is coming into India, especially from non-US countries. US is a different type. Non-US countries, money is not being credited to the bank account and sent back for non-compliance and mismatch between DPP and statements made by the Indian entity who is invested. So make sure that when you are part of your audit, if there is ODI, cover detailed product profile. Make sure that detailed product profile speaks. Compliance and API is complete. Percentage interest of Indians and foreigners, foreign entities are clearly mentioned. Guarantees, performance guarantees, personal guarantees, all of these are properly reflected. Dividends, buybacks, capital reduction, royalties, FTS, all remittances coming in from that entity is also captured. So this is the audit exercise we need to do for every ODI channels. And otherwise, divestments are sometimes involved. And especially if I have the Indian due diligence, FEMA compliance due diligence, this is a basic thing which any big four firm or large accounting firm will ask you. If you want to get flying to your due diligence report, ensure that this is detailed project profile is one thing which you match with your intention as an investor. Yeah. So the other thing is equity capital. This is the rightful definition. Let me read it once. Equity capital means equity shares, perpetual capital, or instruments that are irredeemable, or contribution to a non-debt capital of foreign entity in the nature of fully compulsory convertible instrument. Fully compulsory convertible instruments. SAFE is not fully compulsory convertible instrument. There are certain happenings which have happened. There are conditions which have been set. There is no condition, there is no precondition that it be fully compulsory convertible instrument. None of these words are four are not satisfied. Congruence. And SAFE therefore is like a CCPS. SAFE and CCPS are same. Compulsory convertible preference shares on happening of performance. Some performance. The word fully is missing. SAFE and CCPS are alike from what I have read of SAFE instruments. So be careful on SAFE. Is it? Can I do this? Yes, you can do it. Our database, go to the database, there's application which you can get there. If the agreements read something close to this, you may end up getting a permission. But two applications you made for SAFE, reject. So make the equity instrument, become a shareholder, having control, do a debt instrument, SAFE, okay. But SAFE has to have interest. There is such tendency that it becomes a debt instrument. So if you debt instrument outstanding, interest receipt is okay. So think about the structure, be careful before you make any remittance. The challenge is banks don't understand this. The challenge is banks do not understand this, and if they make this remittance, and there have been instances, I'm not saying safe, but there have been instances where remittances have been made, unwinding transactions are also possible in RBI. RBI may say unwind the transaction. For example, okay, let me step back. There is an obligation under, I was still reading in my story, there is an obligation of a chartered accountant under PFLA for reporting suspicious transaction to financial intelligence unit. Suspicious transactions, definition is there. If there is a suspicious transaction, if there is a transaction which you know is intentionally made to circumvent rules regulations, you are obligated to report to FI. Go to Singapore, no company secretary, no CPA will sign off on any of these instruments if they don't see the law, regulation, or FAQ or they won't sign off. That day is now here for India. So be careful. As a chartered accountant, PFLA applies to you. And now there is a specific, I think October 2020, there is a specific mention of CA, CS, and CWA practice. So be careful of any of these transactions. Nothing is worth your certificate of practice. Nobody is worth your certificate of practice. Not even your wife or mother maybe, not even. She's also a practitioner. So anyway, so like I said, be careful. Control. Control is another tricky one. Control means right to appoint majority of directors or control the management of policy decisions exercised by a person or persons acting individually or in concert. This acting in concert is a problem. So, for example, I can tell you, I know of this, I'm not touched it. There are people who act in concert who trade in something called cryptocurrency. It's happening now. It's very happening. So, there are companies in the UAE. UAE does not want you to be surprised. UAE, even in their offshore vehicles like DNCC, Kavsa, they don't permit cryptocurrency trading. So what people do, they put it as ITES, IT enabled service. I develop an algorithm for doing this trading and do this pass it off. Completely at what I say, and they're owned by resident, obviously there, 51% and above, sometimes up to 80%. But control and management acting in concern, clauses. So be careful. These are transactions you don't even want to be associated with. Yeah. So control, acting in concern by virtue of shareholding or management rights or shareholder agreement. So why do I say this? Is the perception is if I am below 10% voting rights, I am sometimes in a listed entity, OPI, overseas portfolio, in a listed entity, I come to a listed foreign entity and the challenge is that in a listed entity, I am overseas portfolio. But if I have control individually or as a promoter group or as acting in concern, then OPI may become a ODI. The minute it becomes ODI, reporting obligations come. API has to be verified, balance has to be audited, provided. So all these obligations come. So be careful. OPI, 50% of net worth, 50% of OPI is considered as part of your foreign financial commitment, whereas ODI you may go for it. So be careful. What happens is this. So control. ODI, let me deal with ODI funds. Something came up in the discussions in the morning. So okay, let me read it. It's too small to read even for me. ODI is an investment by way of acquisition of unlisted equity capital of a foreign entity. Be careful here. ODI means investment by virtue of acquisition of unlisted equity capital of a foreign entity or subscription as part of memorandum and articles, investment in 10% or more of paid up equity capital or listed entity, or investment in control where investment is less than 10% of paid up equity capital of listed entity. So, if there is a listed entity, more than 10% ODI. Listed entity, control less than 10% ODI. Unlisted foreign entity is always ODI. Unlisted foreign entity by individual less than 10% is ODI. So be careful when you're reading this, okay? There may be certain exemption for SWET, there may be certain exemption for ESOP, there may be certain exemption for qualifications as manager personnel. We'll come to that. But be very careful. Don't classify this as 10% more or less, put it as OPI, and tell your client that there is no reporting obligation. Reporting obligation stays. Now, if people are acting together, there are 3 or 4 people individually investing in a overseas entity, one of them can take the obligation. Usually, quantum investor will deal with regulation comes. Can take the reporting obligation for API, can take the reporting obligation for section F of Form FC for diminution, or section G for diversity. One person can take the and very interesting things are happening. Thailand, company, not India is a craze to invest Phuket and but why? Real estate renting. Real estate trading, not permissible. Under OIL rules, we talk about real estate renting permissible. Enormous rents, monthly rents. So acting in concern, create a vehicle in outside India, all of them invest as LRS, have a completely service apartment and rent it, and one person takes the obligation ensuring that equity capital is issued by the foreign entity, reporting is made of the foreign entity, percentage shareholding is clearly mentioned, 1% is responsibility for getting it audited, getting all the APRs done, getting the divestment process reported. Perfect. Anything goes missing, all are responsible. Not one, all are responsible. Yeah. So be careful. There is investment makers we create outside India. Other than we come to individuals, what are all restricted for individuals, we come to that. But these are vehicles which can be created for earning income outside India legitimately, as long as reporting obligation is taken care of by the highest percentage. Yes. Yeah. What? When does OI lose? Does the it's a wild. This is the wildest section of the rules. Investment by a financial institution in IFSC outside India. You're already outside India. Once you enter IFSC, my investment in IFSC is the overseas investment. Now I'm outside India. Downstream, by virtue of IFSC and benefits IFSC gives to me as a financial institution, I have OI regulations don't apply to me. That itself is a benefit. That itself is a benefit. So we'll come to that. Acquisition or transfer of investment outside India made out of resident foreign currency. This is a peculiar angle. There are two types of RFC. One is RFC, simplicita, there is RFC domestic. RFC domestic, me and you get some consulting income, put it in RFC, but it's like EFC. I converted it to within a month or 1.5 months, whatever the time it provides at that time. It's of no use. But tendency of the one, I can make an investment if I am smart. Or there is RFC for receiving a resident by virtue of my employment here, less than 3 years. I become a resident in India by virtue of being in India for employment. I open RFC account to receive, I sold some asset there, I received it, hold it in currency, foreign currency account. The nature of it is foreign currency. I will not have any obligations as far as OI is concerned to make investment from that RFC. So RFC 2 type, where do I find it? FEM, bracket open, deposit regulations. Yeah. Somebody asked me, why are we discussing now? If India becomes fully convertible? Sir asked. So of course, one day this session will not be there. And very soon, we will not need FEMA. Because once it becomes fully convertible, there is no challenges of US dollar and so convertible fully. Now the session won't be there. But till such time this session is there, this is important. So to the extent of the progression of the law, we are going towards full convertibility at some point. And some instruments like IFSC is fully convertible. Once you enter there. Now the scope of the IFSC has to expand to the rest of India. That's a matter of time. But one day we will not have FEMA sessions. But till such time, let's keep ourselves interested. So acquisition or transfer of any investment outside India, again we discussed with this. If I have foreign currency resources held outside India by a person who is employed in India for a specific period of time, I am an IBM US employee. I have been deputed to India region for a period of 3 years or less. 3 years or less. So if you see all these international assignment contracts, expatriates coming to India, they stick to 2 regulations. One is domestic regulation, how much is the maximum tenancy where I lose my residency in that country. US, for example, is citizenship based, so I don't need to worry. But some jurisdictions, it's like UK and all that, it's tenure. So they stick to either that or they stick to this 3 years. So if you are seeing some expatriate application to be in India for more than 3 years, he is a resident simply stop. This exemption won't apply. So if he makes overseas investment, he has to do like you and me under LRS. LRS also may not sometimes be available. So let's be clear. So if tenancy of any international assignment should be 3 years or less, that's the learning from this. So 6.4 we discussed in the first session, Sir Chiran has clarified that the minute I am coming to India, changing my residency from NR to R, OCS compared to India for retirement, whatever I had outside India can be had outside India, be it security, be it mobile property, be it asset outside India. 6.4 gives that. Similarly, OI also is grandfather. I think. Okay. Interesting. Let me deal with this. I think the rule 4 is repeated. My apologies. They are outsourced presentations. So, rule 5. I prefer no process. Many times I simple, like so good. FEMA sometimes is not that simple. So I usually stick to what is the rules and regulations. If you want interesting, I'll talk to you. But stick to what is there in the rules and regulations as far as public discourse is concerned. I learned very hard way. So, debt and non-instrument. Be very careful. FEMA does not understand that debt and non-debt instrument definition is there in Rule 5. You can read through what is non-debt instrument. But be very careful. The bank don't understand. FEMA doesn't understand. FEMA itself doesn't understand. Contribution into a FEMA only understands, banks only understand, system only understands number of shares into par value of share or par value plus premium of share equal to financial commitment. The minute I say in the limited liability corporation, there is no question of number of shares. It's a percentage interest. The system fails. The minute I say I'm invested into a limited liability partnership, I will get 36% of voting rights, I will get 12% of corporate tax. System fails. It's not as if the law doesn't permit it. It's the reporting system that DPP doesn't catch. So whenever you make investment in LLC, 99% of the investment in LLC made by Indians, you make it in LLC, not Inc. And once you make investment in LLC, America will not understand this percentage interest is sending you. But you will insist, sir, I have to send number of shares into partial par value, premium extra, valuation report equal to dollar. He will give you the share certificate also. But a LLC cannot have a share certificate number of shares. It's percentage interest. This 1997 85 CPA same principle applies. So be careful. Don't fudge this. Be very clear what kind of vehicle is a carrying vehicle. You will not find that regularly in UK or in fact Mauritius, Dubai, everywhere else you will find the situation. Only UK, USA with LLCs. Why LLC? Pastor. Americans don't like corporate. They like pastor. I want a pastor straight, I like tax. I want vehicle to be pastor. So it's a partnership. So when partnership comes, FEMA fails. The system fails in capturing it. So be very careful. Limited liability is a must. Again, unlimited liability entities should not invest. Yes, I think rule. I think definition is just good. Let me come back exactly. But limited liability is a must. Unlimited liability entities should not invest. Yeah. Why? For obvious reasons. If you have over estimated rate, investment in equity of a foreign company, obviously I have rights. I will get my rights. The question of renunciation, etc., is not covered. In API, there is one paragraph, 611(3) or something, I was telling you in session that there renunciation of rights by resident individuals, thereby entailing non-residents to acquire additional shares prohibited. Specifically prohibited. 611(3) masterization. In FEMA, there is no such thing. So if you have right, if you have money, you pay or you acquire. If you don't have money, you don't pay, you don't acquire. Bonus, we don't. Within 30 days of the transaction. Over conditions, bona fide business activity. Bona fide business activity is what is legitimate, legal, under that jurisdiction, and sometimes illegal. For example, financial services sector. There are times when, let me use examples. A lot of algorithmic trading. Almost heard 40 to 50% of all this is done by computers trading, day trade. So volumes are increasing. That is the NBFC activity. Is a big question. Now, the traditional understanding of NBFC is 50% of profit and loss account, 50% of weight of the balance sheet is the financial instrument, financial asset, NBFC. Here, 100% of weight is securities dealing in assets, holding at the end of the year, audited financials, or trading in financial securities, income, no corresponding income. Then, to my mind, it's NBFC. So, if I am a NBFC, unregistered, for lack of awareness, then can I invest in FS outside India? The answer is no. Can I invest in algorithmic trading outside India? Answer is no. Can I invest in crypto assets? Answer is no. Can I invest in banking? Answer is no. Can I invest in insurance? Answer is no, unless corresponding regulator has given me permission in India, and that regulator has given me permission to invest outside India. Who was the regulator? RBI, SEBI, IRDA. Question is, I'm a interesting case. IRDA also approves surveyors, loss assessors, engineers, chartered engineers for assessing risk in a term of chartered engineers, but there is a term for it which IRDA is. If I'm an entity registered in India under IRDA for services to the insurance sector, I may end up requiring IRDA permission for it. So be careful on what is the end use of the OI and what is the balance sheet looking like in the OI or P&L looking like in the OI. Now, can I do direct? Yes. Can I do specific special purpose vehicle? That's the word which is special purpose vehicle. There is no definition for special purpose vehicle. But it says I can do a OI and I can have a step down subsidiary. I'll talk about individual later, but I can have a step down subsidiary. I can also invest in a special purpose vehicle. Special purpose vehicle is transaction specific vehicle. If the transaction is consummated, vehicle is valuable. Vehicle evaporates. For example, there used to be a base on SPAC, specific purpose acquisition vehicle. What is a SPAC? US, SEC listed. I will list a SPAC and I will have a transaction. I will say these two companies are good companies. I am putting in $250 million in the SPAC. These two companies are good companies. They will merge into the SPAC. They will merge into the specific purpose acquisition vehicle. And once merger happens, the way both two entities will collapse, this will become listed, and this registration will become listed. Possible? Is it a special purpose vehicle for a transaction to acquire two companies, consummate it, and do it? Answer will be yes, but better to go through the our website for getting specific permission for this, or even getting an answer from the RBI saying that go to your authorized dealer for this. So these kind of transactions which are outside the ordinary, nothing wrong in writing and seeking permission. If they don't think this permission is required, they direct it to the AD. If they think permission is required, they may ask you some questions. If they say it's no, no. But don't hesitate. Now there's a portal for it also. Yeah. So then, strategic sectors. What are strategic sectors? There's certain exemptions for oil and gas, mining. Let's say there's a oil field off the coast of UAE. ONGC invest, ONGC invest, ADNOC invest, FEMA invest. No vehicle is paid. They don't pay a vehicle. There's an association of persons. You go a DOP in Indian law, see the DOP is a bank account, there's a bank account for domestic law. That's it. So there's no foreign entity. There is no foreign personal network regulation. All these strategic sectors, central government may exempt, and they have exempted. So all of these are. It may not be regular, but there are these. Or if there's anything which is there, may have an application through the AD, right? Through the your KYC, your transaction history, your compliance or otherwise is all through the single AD. And that single AD will represent your case before the RBI and they will give a certificate of something equal to certificate of good standing on your behavior as a good client or otherwise. So make sure that your relationship with the AD is maintained. Now, if I have I'm a non-performing asset in the banking sector, or if there's a SFIO, ED, CBI case going on against me, then I need a specific agency from the regulator concerned for making this investment. I can make an application to the regulator, and the regulator doesn't respond within 60 days. The presumption of approval being given, and I can make the investment. So be careful with. So if there is a particular specific example where you get from export. I have export transactions consistently and going on through the years. I don't receive monies for more than 180 days, more than 2 or 30 days, depending on when it was done. There is reference possible after 2 years to direct rate of enforcement, which is ED. The minute enforcement directed case, a simple export receiver becomes an ED case, and there is notice issued by ED. You may be caught for a OI references. So ensure compliance on imports and exports to avoid the situation where your entity may be caught under the prohibition of making investment. subscription through memorandum and articles of association, memorandum of association is a permissible route for any investor. But see how unwieldy it is. So if I fill up a Form FC, I will have to have a bank account on the receipt side. The minute I at the subscription stage, obviously there is no entity. And if there is no entity, there is no bank account. And if there is no bank account, where will be the remittance? So what I have seen companies do is easier to have an entity created with law firms or accounting firms like we used to in the past, and transition, acquire the shares at subscription stage or issue stage, and we get a CS certificate for valuation. Our subscription is also possible. There are time limits banks provide 60 days in which you have to do this. But all compliance and bank account there opening is troublesome. UAE, Singapore, USA, opening a bank account with KYC and FATF forms is impossible in 6 years. Physically going there, getting this done and coming back, it is becoming tougher. So be careful on subscription to memorandum. It is becoming more and more tougher. You may rather have an acquisition through transfer of shares from an existing shareholder, which is a faster way of acquiring a company. Sir, I get it.
It's not saying it is equity.
I
just not good at financial capital.
No, you have to say whether it's equity, and only when it's equity can you go into debt. I can't invest only in debt. I have to invest in equity, be entitled to make a debt instrument. So, acquiring equity is important. It's not sphere of security, it's swap of security. It's also permitted. Security may sway, but swap is what is intended. Merger, demerger, amalgamation, all these are permitted and automatic. But your obligation is to report any change within 30 days. How do I report any change? Form FC. Form FC has section A, B, C, D, E, F, and deal with it. But reporting has to be done within 30 days. If you miss this 30-day deadline, debt submission fees apply. Paying debt submission fees is easy. It's 7,500 rupees, and plus, if there is a bigger violation, 7,500 rupees into amount involved in violation will come to that. It's like if you violate a traffic rule, you're in a Maruti car, it is 1,000 rupees for signal jump. If you do the same signal jump in a Mercedes car, it's still 1,000 rupees. But in FEMA it's different. A Mercedes car will pay more. Or traffic light violation. A Maruti car will pay less. So be careful with this. So OI in financial services, if you are a financial services entity, there is no definition of financial services. So there is a lot of leeway on this, but at the same time, a lot of restriction also. If you make a FS investment, representing it to be IPS, most commonly people do, the entire transaction will be required to be unknown. Be very careful on this. You will find this troublesome when you have to divest. So 3 years profit track record registered with the regulator in India, only then can you make an investment in financial services sector, especially NBFCs. It need not be deposit accepting NBFCs. It can be NBFCs, deemed NBFCs. So have a look through NBFC regulations, especially on what is the content of the balance sheet. Is it financial assets or is it other assets? On content of the P&L, is it operating income or is it financial sector income? So be careful. 400% of net worth, we discussed this. Your entire financial commitment for an overseas entity is restricted. Let me step back. Your entire financial commitment for overseas entities all put together is 400% of your net worth, including guarantees, equity, debt, or any other instrument which you may follow. Yeah. So, OPI we did touch upon. Okay. OPI has two benefits. One is reporting, ease of reporting. The other one is listed entities in India who do OPI and keep circling those investments. You don't have to bring them back. Whenever there is a divestment, they can be retained and reinvested. So that may be a benefit, but may not be applicable to Bangalore, nonetheless this benefit is there. So, if there is a bid, for example, IBC, insolvency bankruptcy code, all of us, some of us are IRPs, you would have seen that there is an opportunity to invest in a covered asset. This bid and tender process is not available for OPI. Why? You have to be a promoter or you have to be interested investor in these transactions. Otherwise, speculator is not encouraged to invest in tenders and bid. OPI is speculator, less than 10% investment, no control. Yeah. So a speculator is not advised to go into any of these restructuring activities which are happening outside India. There may be assets. You cannot aggregate. Now of us are speculative, 5 of us get together and invest in a corporate asset. That is not permissible. So resident individuals, this is vital. And 3 or 4 examples. Chartered accountants in practice getting sweat equity outside India. Can I get it? Chartered accountant in practice getting sweat equity from a company outside India. The answer is no. This is the definition of sweat instrument. Yes. Only employment of the rights. So if you see the definition exactly. So many chartered accountants have fallen trap to this. And there are cases. ESOP employees sweat equity specific definition and section regulation rule 2 of special equity specifically clarifying that sweat equities are available only for employees and employees. Receive the service money, set it under others. There is no equity for shares available to an individual or practices unless you are an employee or a. So what I said, you can do it, but my advice to you, don't venture into this. If you want equity in a foreign company, the best way to do is LRS. You have a unique identification number, you have a dollar remittance certificate, you have a share certificate in your equity, easiest, report it in your tax return, be done. The minute you have no remittance, you have no UI. You have to obtain a UI. How do you obtain a UI? By application. What is the application? Either form ESOP. I won't find form ESOP because I'm not an employee of the director. So what other way will you get a UI? So it's impossible to performance. If I don't have UI, I can't devise. If I can't devise, what's the point in having it? So be practical, it's impossible to have performance. So if individuals, if you want to share hold shares in companies outside India, form ESOP has to be supplied to the company for employees and directors, I get a UI. I have a UI for LRS, I get a UI. There is no third way, unless otherwise by specific. 100% it is. There is absolutely no provision under LRS, there is no provision under OIOs for this. So there is no mechanism to report, there is no mechanism to get it right. Right to RBI, get a UI, which means right for provision. So be careful, there is no automatic route for us as practices. They may tempt us, entice us, but don't come. Okay, so that is one. Capitalization of use, what's our set? For further use. I make a OI investment. I have investment in a foreign company. I have consistent exports, and I have some receivable. And I think that company is going to do well. I want to convert that export into equity. I have interest accruing on debt instrument. I want to convert that into equity, within 90 days or 90 days as a time. Don't file Form EXT for extension and then go for permission for conversion. Banks won't accept it. Usually do it within tenancy. Then you know you are not a speculator, it's being done for as an investment activity rather than as a compliance obligation not met. So the difference in which they look at it. Did you get what I'm saying? So I'm an exporter. I have to receive money convertible foreign exchange within specified time. It's a realization evaluation and surrender foreign currency. Yeah. I don't do this. I see conversion to equity as an easier option. And I apply for that. Not advice. Banks won't recognize this. Your DPP won't get affected. I want to do it. You are constrained to do it. That company is failing. I will not be able to get the export. So then file for an HT for extension, get extension, make the tenancy life of the export stable, then apply specifically to the RBI for conversion of export into equity. So be careful on your intention. If I go with the intention to evade or defer, difficult. If I go with the intention, I know that this company is doing well. Within the tendency of the export, I want to convert less. If inheritance is possible. So the only way an Indian individual, resident Indian individual can get OI by gift is through a relative. A relative is relative at a company center. Or through inheritance. Inheritance need not be relative. It can be anything. ESOP. Okay. Let me stop here for a while. Sir? Of course. Okay. Gift to I, non-resident gift to I, which means unrelated. The subtle semicolon there. Gift to resident to relative, okay. But if you have a rank non-resident, I like your face, I'm giving you this, you need FCI permission. Why? Donation. Yeah, so be careful. Can I get permission? Yes. Specific transaction permission also is possible at NHA. You need not be a trust or entity for political contributions. Can I receive? Answer is yes with FCI permission. The great cases we have seen with all the political parties being part of the respondents, you can sort it in the NHA permission. So Google is very interesting about NHA, political party donation in India. Just do a fantastic answer. For all the cases and how law changes for when I am acting in concert now. When there is trouble, everybody acts in concert. Super. The entire parliament is acting in concert on two things. One is donations, two is salary. Otherwise, parliament is acting in concert. Okay. My brother, complete American citizen, and non-resident, US passport holder, etc. He has lived all his life. Suddenly, he is in a lower direction and makes that deed of gift deed. Okay. Very important. Just a deed of gift. Document. Entailing saying that out of lower direction, not out of coercion or gift. Lower direction, it must be written. I am giving it to my younger brother, elder brother. How will I do that in my younger brother? The Tahsildar office, what do you call it? Kannada, you call it Vamsa Ruksha, we copy from Tahsildar office, get it. Or in the RTO, using that as the RTO, get your Vamsa Ruksha. In that, his or her name should be mentioned. No other way to do that is related to the company. So, deed, Vamsa Ruksha, foreign certificate, endorsement in your favor, brother to sister, father to son, gift to both. That's the only way you can get a gift. Why? Why do I need these documents? I want UIN. Without UIN, I can't divest. How do I apply for UIN? With all these documents, without evidence. Yeah? I go to Power Portal, upload. Be careful. The money is very significant, so be careful. I used to travel once a month. After COVID, it's reduced quite a bit. One of the reasons is most of many Indians, they go to big parties, used to be called BTQ, basic travel order. Like eligibility, pocket, hospitality, Singapore, they have free model. Stuff like that, trading app, all the time. And you give money, and the company secretary will incorporate also within 30 minutes. He will come and tell you, he will leave for the 24 hours. Then they do the incorporated company, then they come back and say that we have over. The only time they realize is when that money not get now. Then they say the income tax return will upload to schedule FA, it shares the money. Then you ban. Then you ban and say dealing with them. So there is a solution for that also. If remittance has not been made from India for purposes of acquisition of share, you have to make the remittance. Now, how do you make this remittance? You apply to your banker saying that voluntarily, saying that I have not made this remittance. This certificate is in my name, and I have used the basic travel portal for this, and I have made this remittance. This is the number of shares. This is the total using. CS certificate from the outside India. You get it. Fill form FC. They will give you the permission, but they will say compound difference. They will give you the permission. They will say compound difference. They will make the remittance to the bank account specified. Generally, if the CS has paid on your behalf to the CS, if the company itself has a bank account and it has, sometimes Singapore companies can have calls are paid. Indian companies cannot have calls unpaid. There in Singapore, USA, calls unpaid. If calls unpaid is fantastic. Put that calls unpaid and be done. Get this right? But compounding is mandatory. Why is compounding mandatory? Why? Is a specific provision. My request is if one of you can Google, in master direction, there is a specific provision where the compounding rules changed in 2024. There's a specific provision saying that if you violate anything, why? There's a 3-year grandfathering time for compounding of offences. Within that 3 year from the notification of this OI rules and regulations, any violation it can compound and become closed. So what is the damage or extent of the damage in compounding? Because compounding entails payment of compounding fees. Google again, there will be a spreadsheet in RBI website. Compounding orders, RBI. All orders issued by RBI from I have it up to 2020, now 2023. Afterwards, I not downloaded. All compounding orders are now in Excel spreadsheet with orders attached. So we can look at the nature of transaction and see what is the extent of damage. Generally, from what I have seen in the past, if there is a violation of ODI, up to 4 crores, 5 crores, 1 lakh, 10 lakh, 5 lakh, depending on what is the tendency of the business. They are reasonable. Much better than the impact which you face under the factory or the income tax act. So do it right. See if there is cost unpaid. If there is no cost unpaid, pay it to the person who has paid it on your behalf. Make the remittance, file from UFC, obtain UIN, go for compounding. Nothing wrong.
Very small amounts.
$1, $5, $7 is all same. Offense is offense. There is no amnesty. There is no USA first here. It is compounding offense. There is no compounding and not amnesty. I tell you why. The minute you apply for compounding, the same regulation, you cannot apply for compounding for 3 more years. So there is a restriction on this thing. So, for example, if step back. Very difficult to convince the argument. If I compound an offense under OI regulations, chances are for the same time, no compounding will be allowed across regulations also, unless you write all this and are ready to fight. So be careful in compounding also. It is a one-time, once in 3 years activity, if at all you have to do it. But do it with a lot of precision and legal advice. In fact, if Chidananda does it, it will elaborate it better. There are some offences which are better off with special directives appeal in Chennai or federal regulations. So you can pick and choose. You need not accept the compounding on it. You can say, okay, I'm going appeal. But the trick is, the challenge is to find a good lawyer.
Very small amount is invested, like $50 in cash.
$100, $50. Okay,
What will be the consequences? Suppose it is not reported.
Okay. The biggest consequence is loss of wealth.
If it is reported in income tax,
See, I have case. I have a case where you will not believe 2.5 crore money came in for capital reduction, but was not credited because original one share allotment transferred from R to NR to R, and the chart accountant incorporated. One share was not transferred. Okay, every event is a reportable incident. For example, I incorporated $50, $50. When I went there, I gave $50, he put $50, company secretary on chart. Then he transferred that $50 to me. I did not report. I came back to India, did a proper LRS, $100,000. Then next year I did another $100,000. All these are done right. Yeah? But because in the event one, I did not recognize the transfer of 50 to me, they don't credit. How they do it is, I scan one of the banks, top banks, multinational, a beautiful Excel spreadsheet I can share with you. Event one, event two, event five. Every event is analyzed as far as shareholding is concerned to arrive at final shareholding as per CS certificate or balance sheet outside. Event wise. Beautifully done. And I think chart accountants have got to learn from bankers these aspects, reconciling. And then they do other events, APR, event 21, 22, 23, 24. In the APR, audit financials, percentage shareholding, resident, non-resident, does it tie to balance sheet? Yes, no. They're beautiful spreadsheet and fill up the lines. It's very good. I would suggest you Google Axis Bank overseas investment condition documentation. Beautiful spreadsheet out and you can use them. Or if you have good relations with bankers, they will also share it. Every event is analyzed, every APIs are analyzed, every compliance aspect is analyzed, and and only then do credits happen. And sometimes these are all vintage. There will be vintage of 7 years, 8 years, 10 years. I have sorted my 12, 14, 15 years also. They are corporate, banks corporate. If you are lucky, I'll tell you why. Most of the people who are in compliance are non-CS. And it's not they don't get what you call commission. This job role doesn't get commission. So nobody wants to be in this job in the bank. So it's a 2 year, 3 year. Maximum time you see 80% in capital account, capital something. With that is 3 years, max 3 years. Then they will get transferred on to bank, core banking. So it's very difficult. So be careful. Your client depends on you. The other thing, you can't let your client down. So see your best. Trust society again, IFS. Okay. Subscription to memorandum. Okay. Very tricky question. I tell you, China is a funny one. I have heard of China extensively with very troublesome pattern in all terms, especially in China. Subscription will be sometimes subscription to capital is a what do you call condition precedent for you to be a shareholder. If you don't subscribe to memorandum, you are not a shareholder. That's it. You are nobody. And when you will know, when further investments have been made and profits have been determined, dividends are due, then they will tell you that subscription might come. Okay. Another thing which happens in China is subscriptions is deferred. For example, the initial subscription account may be, and usually Chinese in the very smart, they put entire commitment upfront. That Indian investor goes to, they know this is a background. So they'll say $1 million you put, $1 million I put. 300,000 subscription, 300,000 second month, 300,000 third month, they will honor the obligation. RBI. But if you come back to India, then you say the RBI bank will ask you is a deferred payment. Then you have to convince them it's not a deferred payment, it's a staggered allotment. There's a difference. So if you do not subscribe to memorandum, you are not in most jurisdictions. BVI, another place. It's a paper company. You said this certificate with you, your company. This certificate with you, this is your company. There's a beautiful Netflix movie. I think you all just do Netflix. Fantastic movie on what happens in these jurisdictions. It's paper. So if you don't subscribe, it's not your paper. It's not your company. Constitution must do it. Why do you incorporate BVI? Why do you incorporate tax? For example, 2 minutes of breakers, aero engines, dredgers, ships, all will be added, marked out, everyone will be added, right? No TDS. No TDS under India IFS. No TDS. BVI, all financial instruments, British, historically, from pirates to today, they have Chor. British have Chor, BVI. All the financial instruments, BVI. So be very skeptical about subscription. Be very careful. Your name should be there as subscriber. Memorandum, your signature should be there as memorandum. Then first share certificate you have to receive. You have to cover it. Be very careful on this or you may lose your entire investment. Loss of value is significant for such apparent mistakes, no? IFSC, let me cover this. I think we have the many minutes. IFSC is like what Ajay put a beautiful slide. Triangle. That's the IFSC. I have a AIF in IFSC. I need a trustee. I have a trustee. It's like a mutual fund. Or it's like a asset management company to a mutual fund. Or it's an investment company to a PE fund. So the segregation of duties. There's a trustee, there's an advisor. Decisions are not taken by the AIF. Delegation of powers. And these powers are delegated across all semi-registered AIFs follow the same principle. IFSC also follows the same principle. The minute I invest from overseas into the IFSC, it's a incoming transaction. IFSC is a foreign jurisdiction. There's no problem. A non-resident can invest in the IFSC. Absolutely invested in IFSC, it's a overseas transaction. Individually, LRS, entity, 400% limits. How much can invest? Problem with IFSC is the IFSCA is the authority. IFSC is the licensing authority. They approve trusts, they approve LLPs, they approve corporates. If it is an LLP, what it is? And anyway, LLP is a problem because the minute I invest, I'm a small shareholder. I may be investing 100,000 in a $10 million fund. A small shareholder. Imagine the complexity of having to change the LLP agreement. And imagine the challenge because IFSC doesn't recognize current account. Same problem. So if it's an AIF LLP, ask how do you invest? If there are 10 investors, AIF operates fantastic, easy. If there are multiple investors, AIF and LLP may fail. So then trust. Trust again is a tough topic. Are you the sector? Are you the beneficiary? All these questions are not common sense or layman. Too complicated. Try and avoid it. Corporate with instruments. Understand. Debentures, I understand. Equity, I understand. Convertible debentures, I understand. Liquid preference, I understand. Agreements, I can read. So if it's an AIF in a corporate environment, fantastic. Under LRS, but you get a share certificate. LLP cannot be a share certificate. And you can't report in 60 days to the, or 180 days to the RBI or as part of your compliance obligation. LLP is also the balance sheet, you not show your number. No. In an unlisted entity, it is always a courier, whether it's listed 10%. In a listed entity, you can do it. That's why if you look at the definition of ODI. ODI, unlisted entity, everything is ODI. So that is the definition of August 2022, this is the challenge of people faced. How do I do? How do I comply? I don't have control. I don't have money. How do I report? For example, there's a company, very big company, which has 0.67% in a US company. 0.67%. Do you think they bother giving you the financials? Non-resident, resident, income. Don't bother. You'll be surprised. You know, some superstars, Dara and Hindi film industry, they invest in what do you call it? Which is one now. Dating apps. They're very happy. Google. How many advertising they do for dating apps? They do not for it. Compliance, none. As a small industry, not demanded. So ODI for unlisted equity is a problem. Because if you want me to apply for small equity, I can't. It will be impossible to perform. That is the challenge most companies. APR. APR is very detailed. Percentage interest or non-percentage interest is already discussed. If I don't know, pricing guidance and specs. Banker gave me a very good okay. For FC, again, I want you to pay attention to section F. If you realize for 2 years consistently there is a loss in the overseas entity, if 2 years there is consistently a loss in the overseas entity, see if you repair. From accounting perspective, but also from a common sense perspective. And if you want to impair it and report it schedule. Because if you let that cancer continue now, it becomes a very big problem to solve when you go to section G, which is divestment. If you divest a $1 million investment for $5,000, all red flags will throw. But if you have a $1 million investment, stagger it to diminution to schedule F for 800, again for 600, stagger it, then this is the answer. If you don't report under schedule F, section F, you are in trouble. So this is important section F for it. Keep that in mind. If the foreign entity is incurring losses, keep the diminution in mind. This is a fantastic thing. I want my banker friends there. All these words have to be there in valuation. Fair market value. Methodology. It has to say internationally accepted method. It means whether it's internationally accepted or not, we can't go into it, but it has to be internationally what is the assumptions and what are the data points which you rely upon for preparing this report in the valuation certificate. Arithmetic of computation. You cannot just say that net worth is X. You have to say equity, reserve surplus, all put together, divided by number of shares or outstanding, per share value X, Y. Even if you're doing network basis. If you're doing DCF, obviously the entire computation and arithmetic of computation has to be done. Current shareholding, authorized capital, paid up capital, face value, and resulting shareholding also sometimes. What I have seen internationally, what they do is the RBO standard now. We also have RBO. ICAI issued the valuation standards. Plus one standard, I think ICAI issued the international standards. And as part of the IBBI course, you have a registered valuation officer. They have international standards for valuation. They start with there is an intention of X or Y to invest X amount of rupees into this entity, and the agreement between the parties or MOU between the parties entails the dilution of X or Y. Consequently, that we have been asked to do a valuation. That is more preamble. Yeah. So, current shareholding, authorized capital, paid up capital, face value. Why I am saying all this is arithmetic of computation. Everything has to be discussed. And again, in our opinion, based on the above facts, we confirm that fair value of the company as on date of dash valuation date, and it has to be correct 60 days. Yeah. Using valuation methodology dash is FCY dash per equity share, face value per share is FCY dash. Last audited balance sheet means audited balance sheet not exceeding 18 months. All of this has to be put. 90 days, I'm sorry, valuation certificate. Yeah. If it is more than $10 million, diminution, you need merchant banking. If it is more than $5 million, ODI, you need merchant banking. CPA grant, internationally or domestically. These are all email transcripts, okay? I have edited and put these email transcripts. I think it's got this is one. The person resident in India who has made ODI. ODI, individual unlisted equity, ODI, individual loss capital. There is no exception provided for APR and foreign FC reporting for individuals. Or undertaking divestment, or undertaking restructuring, or making financial commitment. When you issue performance guarantees, be careful. Many Indian companies issue performance guarantees for overseas projects. And those performance guarantees also become part of your financial commitment. Shall submit the annual performance report. Okay, for OPI investors, for FLA. FLA has to be filed by July 31 by anybody making investment in overseas investment or FAIC or ECB. But individuals don't require, are not required to be, don't require to file FLA. Only Indian entities are required to be filing FLA. Let's talk about this. Most common question. As per project profile, detailed project profile, Indian parties have a total stake of X percentage. However, as per APR, the percentage has slightly clarified this much. When I invested 80-20, post investment, foreign company has increased its shareholding in the foreign entity. I have not made an investment correspondingly, and therefore 80-20 has become 80-10, 90-10. I have not reported common mistakes. How do I report? APR, latest balance sheet. Or if there is an event taking place, restructuring taking place, immediately foreign FC. If there is a change. Kindly share detailed shareholding pattern along with percentage holding amount in order to verify the accuracy of financial figures. This is especially China. Anything China OI, tax loss figures. I don't know what is it in China. They will say, as per balance sheet, issue, subscribe, paid up capital is X RP. Break it up. Who holds it? Who holds it? Many Chinese companies have investment from our favorite neighbors from the West. And along with the favorite neighbors on the west, our people also invest. And this is a major issue. So if it is a percentage here, you have to break up this equity share. You should be at any point in time, you should be able to break up the issue subscribe paid share capital into number of shares, allotment values per allotment, each allotment equal to what is the amount disclosed in the balance sheet. If you are not ready with this, as an auditor, I have been little worried. Initial investment by investor are affected on cash. However, no amount has been repatriated to India. Kindly provide plan of action of investor company to repatriate earnings from investor capital. You have invested in that year. Consistently, you are not told anything about how the performance of foreign companies. Is there any earnings which you are receiving? If you are not receiving, please let me know what is the plan of action. Why? You are invested, you have permitted investment, bona fide activity, operating entity. So if you are operating and losses, report schedule section F. If you are operating profit, report in India. If you are not reporting anything and there is no money due to you, nothing is coming from that end, what are you doing with this investment? This is the question. The JV company is running at a continuous loss, which raises a question of financial viability of the JV. Hence, no fresh investment approach to be audit. Kindly clarify. So they'll say this also. Yeah. Mismatch in investor capital between project profile, we'll talk about this. As evidence for financial statement, JV has not undertaken any trade operation. All of these are extracted from mainstream banks. This is another LRS. Invested under LRS. Money has come and hit. There is an empty under instruction. The instruction has come. Dollar amount is decided. Capital injection happened. Money has come and hit the bank. Bank wants to credit into the account, my account, because I met the original investment under LRS. See the question they ask. Request letter for divestment with brief facts of case. Form FC section G for divestment. Copy of FD 103, 6-point KYC. This is another major problem, especially FTA ODI. For OCS, major headache. There is something called a 6-point KYC, which is 6 questions. There are 6 questions which are answered, which has to come from bank to bank under the FD 100 instruction. You have no role to play. You have to request the remitter bank to set that 6-point KYC to the receiving bank, without which receiving bank will not credit to it. This happens in major transactions. Be careful. This happens for every individual transaction under FTA, especially the LLPs. So if you are incorporating LLPs with OCI, it's better to do under non-repatriable option. It's easier, domestic investment. Don't do under repatriable unless you are ready for this. Board resolution of the Indian party received. In case of buyback capital reduction, board resolution of the foreign entity. In case of transfer of foreign entity, sale agreement, buyback agreement, broker note, NCLT court order, equivalent, valuation certificate, document evidence for closure of foreign entity, latest audited balance sheet, delayed filing of divestment, evidence on compounding filed with less paid, if at all there is any mismatch in reporting. Unless all of these are then unless all of these are complied, the divestment process will not be built. Imagine the loss of value. It is a humongous loss of value for a client. Then, proposed infusion of $300,000 will be made into LLP's current account and not in fixed capital account. This is intended for working capital for business purposes. This is IFS. This is IFS. There is no concept of current account and capital account. IFS did not have sent money. If you say it's a current account, because the trustee and the manager will say you are only on current account. You are not on capital account. No voting rate, no shareholding, no nothing. You are just an investor. Simply say that. Current account. Current account, no commission. Fixed capital remains unchanged. Fixed capital is 1 lakh. It remains unchanged following this infusion. Parent entity was same. Current account, capital account, confusion. Valuation report. No additional partnership interest. How do you evaluate if there is no additional partnership interest? Then, this is another case. Form A2 is okay. Ensure seal and signature on all pages. Submit hard copy. Current account transaction dash. Date of remittance. For making investment, you should be ready with this. For making investment at LRS or any ODI, you should be ready with this. Share purchase, share acquisition agreement. Very important. Pre-issue, post-issue capital with your name in it or your entity's name. Pre-issue, post-issue should be 2 annexures. Pre-issue annexure 1, post-issue NHR 2 with your name being NHR 2. Otherwise, don't even waste your time on ODI. Too much compliance. Audited financial declaration. For subsequent evidence. In case of divestment, we talk about this. One more thing, George. This is a Brahma portal. You just want to put on the Brahma.rbi.org. Okay, it's a very useful portal. It works. LSF. For APR, FL returns, for ODI, which is now for FC, and all sections there too, each of it is 7,500 plus. If non-fund based transactions are there, also it has to be reported, like guarantees and all that, no? You report them. STS, step one subsidy. We discussed in the morning also that not more than 2 lakhs of subsidy is permitted, which is subsidiary 1 and its subsidiary. Indian entity, subsidiary and its subsidiary. More than that is not permitted. Subsidiary and 2 or 3 subsidiaries may be okay. Subsidiary only for individual. Coming back into India, only 1 subsidiary for individual. If an individual is investing in a foreign company and it comes back into India, no problem. Individual investing in foreign company, it has a subsidiary outside India, problem. So be careful on this, especially step down, and report all step down subsidiaries in Form APR. You may acquire a new step down subsidiary outside India. Form APR is a specific column for reporting all step down subsidiaries. If you don't report it, then what will happen is the divestment of step down subsidiary, if reported the balance sheet of the parent company, you will be queried on reporting. I think we have last 5 minutes, so if we have any questions, we can take it. We can cover it also. I think we covered it. What I talked about this morning. If you have any questions, you can take it now, or if you are eager to leave, we'll leave here. Sir.
I have a case where an individual has incorporated an entity in US.
Sir.
It's a corporation, so it's like an incorporation. I asked him, how have you registered for it? He said, no, I founded the company, I have shares on the company.
Okay. He's a resident individual, sir.
Resident in India. What compliance is he supposed to do? He says that his auditor never said anything to him. He has this company from past 5-6 years.
That company has a balance sheet.
He says that I
And
have
the assumption that company has a balance sheet, company has filed its tax returns, see the remittance made for subscription of memorandum or incorporation. Or it is a common stock allotment in a week. There will be a common stock allotment. If there is a common stock allotment, you can rest assured that money has to be paid to him or her. Without which a CPA will not incorporate. CPA will take his fees, take the initial capital, otherwise he will not even bother incorporating for you, especially if you come from India. So I'm sure somebody has paid for or on his behalf, and if that somebody has paid for or on your behalf, regularizing will make the actual remittance to India.
Because he says he has never done anything.
Without the remittance, the issuer sells a ticket, even without the remittance.
Okay, no? I have seen that. But there are 2 states, either Wild West, Arizona, Texas, Nevada, Utah, all these current singing fellows, they do all this. Proper incorporation, you are Delaware, go through proper CPA who understand PPA. I'm telling you why I tell you, I work with many CPAs in the USA. I work there initially also, but people who are Indian origin, who have been to India, understand this because they will have NRI, OCI accounts here, they will have OCI accounts, NRO, NRI accounts here. They will know the challenges with which India faces, the Indians face with their regulators. Americans don't understand because there is a base denomination in their currency. The basic currency is the USD. So they don't understand foreign exchange, they don't understand compliance. So every maverick will do whatever he or she feels like. And that liberty is provided in domestic law. The Secretary of State will issue certificates without subscription, which I think is a very concept for the rest of the world, common law world. But if you have a CPA who understands India, who is of you can't report. See again, if you don't have dollar evidence now, it's the impossibility of performance. How will you report? What will you do?
Sir, I have a client who is in the US. So he's an Indian actually. So he went to the US and using his card, on which using the LRS he has uploaded a foreign currency, he opened the bank account and subscribed right there and opened the company and came back. So is there any further compliance requirement for him now in India? Because he's already gone there, opened the entity and the entity is functional. There's nothing more is to be done. And he's used his LRS because he was holding a credit card or maybe he was holding
There's also, see, in between there's a circular in May 2023. It said international credit card spends are covered under liberalized interest. Within 3 days it was withdrawn. So, LRI, international credit card debits are no longer LRS by virtue of the circular being inserted and removed. So, there is no LRS. LRS is Form LRS, Form A2, joined together, debited from India by a resident individual by debit to his bank account in India, SBI account, which he has maintained with the Indian bank for a period of 1 year. If not maintained for a period of 1 year, new banker has entailed KYC from previous banker and obtained. If all these conditions are not satisfied, no LRS. So now it's a credit card debit or a credit card. It could be for gambling, it could be for betting, or it could be for incorporation of company. If it is for incorporation of company, gambling, betting is illegal. And you as a child of report to the police to report to FI if you ask me. Now, if it is incorporation of company, then you have to say this debit has come to me. I have done this. Here is the formation corresponding to it. The same bank under which your credit card is debited now, he becomes a carrier for your formation for obtaining UPI.
So still it can be regularized?
No, you can regularize. Only after regularization, they will insist on compounding. If you have finished compounding,
so compounding will be required. So that is not regular transactions, still the
no,
default. Okay.
All. If you want to file on India, you need audited financial statements. There is no question, even if the domestic jurisdiction is not requiring you to do an audit by domestic law, you have to get it audited by an Indian CA and bank. Correct. Then the Indian Chartered Accountant has to take the obligation of auditing it and certifying the balance sheet and student audit, not a test. No compilation, no attached function, no what do you call it, no process.
Safe and there is no audit. Before we forward.
You come to Chairman's. But yeah, future equity is problematic. It's a debt instrument. You have, if you ask me, step by step, become an equity investor in that company. Entailing you to making you eligible for subscription into participating in a debt instrument issue. Step 2, both debt and equity, you file a form API for it.
Going to the point of ICC, International Credit Card, noticed HNIs make massive spends when there are overseas trips using ICCs. What is your view in terms of? I know the circular withdrew the LRS, but even when it reaches the $250,000, is it acceptable practice? Is it all RBI doing?
As a practicing chartered accountant, I don't do income tax returns for any HMs.
I'm not talking about income tax.
Deliver. You please read that order of the MHA on PMF. What obligation it comes on chartered accountant? I don't do any tax returns for individuals or HMIs. People who invest in movies, people who invest in music industry, people who go overseas and spend, and HMIs. Anything above $1 million of income, don't touch it. The obligation is humongous. Don't touch it. Not worth it. No, do nothing. Chartered accountants are, I'm telling you, I'm ashamed to be some kind of chartered accountant. Way we are treated now. We used to have major political party used to have CSR. It is spent.
participate in excess of LRS levels. What's your view? Is that an acceptable practice?
No, banks are not required. The circular withdrawn by the FEMA with the condition that banks will put in a system within I think 12 months or something for tracking LRS payments under ICC mechanism. Look at the impossibility of the fund. Will Visa cooperate? Will MasterCard cooperate? Visa and MasterCard don't cooperate. Banks only work as a data warehouse spec is only available to Visa. Which is merchant boss spec is only available to Visa. That's why we put in RuPay now. India invested so much in RuPay for what reason? Because these two companies were unincorporated under PMLA. So we invested, until we invested in our own settlement mechanisms, UPI, IP. There was non-cooperation with these two institutions. So it's impossible. Google is very interesting. Google what Visa did to India, what MasterCard did to India, how they treat us.
Sir, hello. Sir, question.
Last example.
There's a
Easy question.
there's a partnership firm in India. They have the platform, Amazon platform in storage place in Australia. Sending the goods from India to Australia. Later, the Australian people booking the goods through Amazon. Whether I have to create any organization or company in Australia?
Sir, FEM, that is open export of goods and services regulation. This is common. So, for example, Airbus sources from Bangalore, Boeing sources from Bangalore. None of the Indian supplying entities set up a branch or representative office. Representative office in US is very difficult, almost impossible. So there is something called warehouse. Google warehouse. Certain warehouses when they exist, you can rent or you can ask your service provider, which is DHL, you rent. There is exemption as long as you fulfill turnover criterion on export, as long as you fulfill profit criterion, you can set up a warehouse.
Yes.
And that warehouse is deemed to be a warehouse for fulfillment center.
Okay, it's deemed to be warehouse. Once it is a material sent to, as per FEMA Act, we have to
15 months. It goes up to 15 months.
Yes, 15 months. Sometimes what happens, customer not at all book that material. In that case, there is no money
Coming in, no revenue.
That time what have to do?
You write off.
Write off.
That is.
Simply a write off.
No, not. First you say 15 months. If you're within 15 months and there's impossibility of money coming in, you have stock goods in your warehouse.
Yes, sir.
This EDPMS is outstanding and it's outstanding against your warehouse
Yes.
or your receiving location. If you're not receiving back, you ask for extension of time. If you can supply to somebody else, fantastic. If you're not able to supply, returns are also okay. If you're not able to return, it's not unavailable to bring it back, write off.
Okay.
Okay.
So there is one Indian entity having its acquisition and foreign subsidiary. So this foreign subsidiary is making a continuous losses for say 2 years. As per it has to be reported for schedule as an impact.
Not as per me, as per RBI.
So if there is a justification of its valuation of the subsidiary.
Yes, you get a valuation.
Subsidiaries here.
I-
That schedule
See, any diminution has to be reflected in number of shares into per share value equal to for a financial commitment. If you want to reduce number of shares, you can't because it's a loss. But per share value you can reduce with the new share capital. Or MC you report per share value reduction. So number of shares you make per share value was 100, it is gone up to 80 because of consistent losses. Who will say that 80 is valid? It's a CPA outside India below 5 million or merchant banker above 5 million.
there is a valuation, positive valuation, which says it is not impaired. So in that case,
Sir, if you are under consistent loss for 2 years, you are required to report. You will report. If there is a value increment which happens, again report. There is a performance. If you don't report and the projections which you are making is not happening, then you are say you have a situation right? When you have to go for write-off or reduction. You got what I'm saying? First 2 years you are making loss. You don't report. Believing that third, fourth, fifth year I perform, correct? I don't get a valuation certificate, or I get a valuation certificate which shows rosy performance. My request is, my suggestion is report diminution. Proper performance, increased performance, report again in schedule of next year to restate your share value. But not reporting will put you in a worse situation.
But in accounts, I will not take any impact.
Such.
But in accounts, the balance sheet, the impairment is not required. Considering
If you have 2 or 3 year losses consistent, more than 2 years, what I say. No, unless there is something so dramatically changing that it will result in a profit situation, you would also have wanted to be worried about impairment testing. Right? So be one of the kind of caution. Then take a decision. Don't want to report your choice. Your choice. You are confident, your choice.
Sir, in this case,
Last question.
my friend has said that the goods is sold from sending from India to Australia. In warehouse from there, it's sending to end customer. So, what document it should issue at the time of from India to Australia? What document should issue?
Okay. What should if you need an EDF? Export network. It should be a warehouse. Otherwise, you will not get 15-month extended credit. Or the warehouse can be Blue Dart, care of whatever, your company name, etc. But there is a, what do you say, I forget. Blue Dart and DHL provide something called value masking services. For example, I ship, I store, and only at the time of shipment, value is disclosed. But for the ADPMS, you have shown your export value. That amount you have to receive. Anything more coming, no problem. Right? Anything coming lesser than that value, you have a problem for diminution or write off. Up to 25% authorized dealer can write off. Above 25% RBI.
Okay, at the end of it, when the goods is sold from warehouse to end customers, so you need to issue any invoice for the particular transaction.
Yes. You have to issue a invoice. It may not be invoice for, what do you say, from your Indian entity, it will be invoice from warehouse. DHL or Blue Dart issue, what I see in the past. Because if you issue invoice from India, GST may apply. A domestic sales tax or VAT, whatever it is, may apply. But shipment in the course of import, if issued by Blue Dart, VAT may not apply. I've seen it in the US and France, where the airline industry they do. There they issue domestic invoice for VAT purposes and GST purposes. So check once in the domestic Australia.
Oh yeah. Hey.
So thank you so much for such a wonderful session, clarifying all those day-to-day nagging issues where it looks simple but at the same time it's not so simple and it is complicated. So on behalf of Bengaluru branch, we thank you for attending. Have a small token of conversation, please.
Say to hello.
And thank you all for your active participation. Thank you.